This is CNN Breaking News.
Well, we begin with the breaking news, an important ruling today in the legal and political fight over same-sex marriage. The breaking news this hour, a federal judge in California has announced the timetable for lifting a temporary stay in the case that overturned Proposition 8. That's the voter-approved measure banning gay marriage in the state. The decision means gay couples in California could be able to legally marry once again starting next Wednesday. But that might change depending on where the battle goes from here. CNN's Dan Simon is joining us now from San Francisco, where the ruling came out just a little while ago. Walk us through what's going to happen over the next few days.
Well, it's a very good question. Still some unknowns here, but bottom line, barring any sort of reversal from an appeals court, same-sex couples here in California can resume getting married next Wednesday, August 18th at precisely 5 p.m. That is the ruling that came down about an hour and a half ago from Judge Vaughn Walker. Here at City Hall in San Francisco, you had many same-sex couples, Wolf, ready to get marriage certificates today and get married as early as today. We have a supporter with us, a very high-profile supporter. This is Speaker John Perez. I think it's fair to characterize you as the first openly gay Speaker of the House here in California.
That's absolutely fair to characterize me that way.
And to ask an obvious question, your reaction to Judge Walker's ruling?
Well, I think this is a great day for LGBT people in California and, quite frankly, nationwide. It's also a good day for anybody who's really concerned about full equality for people in the state of California. I think Judge Walker's decision today was consistent with the news that he made when he first found Prop 8 to be unconstitutional. I think that it's a very good ruling on the merits, and I think it undermines the ability for it to be overturned at the appeals court on the question of stay.
The judge in his ruling today saying that August 18th is the day, next Wednesday. That gives the other side some time to go to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals to try to get Judge Walker's ruling reversed. They're going to try to do that. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, first of all, I think this is another example of how fair the judge has been in his process. First, in holding out until today to rule on the issue of stay, and now giving the other parties up until next Wednesday to try to overturn him on stay. When you look at his decision on the stay itself, there are four main tests involved. And on each of the four tests, I think he was very clear. And I think that it really limits the ability of the Court of Appeals to overturn him on the question of stay. Obviously, the main question will still go to the Court of Appeals. We think it'll likely end up before the U.S. Supreme Court. But in the meantime, we think the chances of people moving forward and having full marriage equality starting next Wednesday are very good. And that's wonderful news for all of us here in California.
California House Speaker John Perez, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We want to bring in somebody from the other side here. This is Victor. Victor, tell me your last name one more time.
Sorry, it's Luke Otterstad.
Excuse me, Luke Otterstad. You can see here, Wolf, he has this sign here, Stop Judicial Tyranny, wearing a sign here, Yes on 8. Obviously, the majority of people here are pro same-sex marriage, but you have people like Luke out here at City Hall. Explain to me, Luke, why you're so passionate about this issue.
Well, I'm definitely out here representing the majority of Californians who voted to support Proposition 8, and I'm also here to be their voice as their vote is trampled on by this judge ruling their votes as not worth being counted, really.
The judge obviously using blunt language in the original ruling, and today saying in effect that there's no reason why this marriage ban on same-sex couples should remain in place, yet, as you say, 52% of California voters backed Prop 8. Explain why Judge Walker's wrong here.
He's basically saying that the majority of Californians are irrational, that we're uneducated, that we don't know what we're talking about. I'm sorry, but that's pretty offensive to us for him to say that. He's a homosexual judge, openly homosexual. I think he's been very biased in this ruling.
All right, thank you very much for your time. Sure. So, Wolf, there you have it, two very distinct sides. Obviously, a very contentious issue here in California, not going away anytime soon. We know that the pro-Prop 8 people will file an emergency appeal probably this afternoon, and now we're just waiting to see what the appeals court will do. But barring any sort of last-minute decision from them, same-sex couples here in California can marry beginning next Wednesday. Back to you.
All right, Dan Simon, thanks very much. Let's bring in our senior legal analyst, Jeffrey Toobin, who's been watching this, reading between the lines. What's likely to happen between now and 5 p.m. Pacific time next Wednesday as far as the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals is concerned? Because they could continue the stay if they want to.
They sure could, Wolf. And the most important fact, which we don't know at this point, is which 3 judges will be on the panel to decide the stay. Because the Ninth Circuit is a court with a lot of liberal judges and a lot of conservative judges. Once we know which 3 judges are on the panel to decide the stay, we'll have a lot better sense of whether that stay will be extended or not.
You have any prediction?
Well, I think given the fact that the Ninth Circuit tends to be a pretty liberal court, and if you look at the judges who have previously ruled in this case on earlier issues, if they get the case, they tend to be a pretty liberal group, and they seem like the kind of judges who would let the stay end, who would allow gay marriages to proceed next week. But let's just see which judges we get, then we'll have a lot better idea how the decision is going to go.
Good point. I stand by.